What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my demands. Like and subscribe. I got the sniffle snaffles. So I'm very tired, very exhausted, but I had to do this video because the comments blew up yesterday. Now, understandably so, because I didn't really go into at all, I think, the whole doom and gloom, the implosion, some people call it, over at Xbox, which I would say Xbox / Microsoft, but you know, whatever, the semantics. So here's my take. My take is that a lot of people are reacting to something that isn't 100%. Has Xbox come out and say, hey, these studios are closed? Has Asha said, hey, these studios are closed? These games are canceled? Did they say anything? Only thing we know for sure is Craig Duncan left. The head of chief of staff lady left. I forgot her name. Dude from Treyarch left. And I think one other person. I can't remember. And for that, I would say that there's kind of a couple of ways to think about this, depending on who you are. For me, I'm at the point where I'm like, look, life isn't forever. You're not going to live forever, right? So what do? You find your happiness. You find it as soon as possible, sooner rather than later, right? And then you try to create, expand that happiness, just to be happy all the time. I mean, it's hard to do, but it's not impossible. So I would say to Craig Duncan and all these people who have left, hopefully financially it's not an issue. They're like, yo, we got savings, we got that with that. When it's not a problem. So basically it's kind of like a reset, if you will. It's not like starting over from scratch. No, it's I'm not beholden to any, the man or whatever. I can do whatever I want. The freedom of not having to go to work, the freedom to say, I'm just gonna go and hop on a plane and go to Japan because I feel like it. If you have the means, I'm just saying, or I'm just gonna I'm gonna go to the park and listen to the birds today. I mean, that's a simple thing you can do any day, but normally you would have to work, but now you don't have to work. Like I said, if they are financially set, good to go, then it is freedom. It's almost like getting divorced, and then when you get to a point where you don't have to pay any more money, whether it's child support or alimony or whatever, when you get to that point, I mean, there's other different things that happen. For me personally, it was a little bit different. We're not gonna go into that, but there is freedom in these little things, right? And so, like, say my job. I'm not gonna tell you what my job is. You guys probably know anyway. But if I were to not have a job anymore, now the thing about my job is that I can't get fired. Okay, it's in the contract. I have a union. They can't lay. Okay, let me rephrase that. They can't lay us off. They can fire me if I'm messing up. If I do something stupid, yeah, of course, anybody can get fired. But they can't lay off because, we're trying to cut the budget, we gotta lay people. No, they can't do that. And that is one of the advantages of having a union, depending on the contracts, of course. But anyway, so if I were to be offered like early retirement, and I took it because they do have that. Same with, like, I guess what Craig Duncan and whoever else went through that, right? And Microsoft, Xbox. So if I were to take that, depending on how much the cash is, I mean, if I was like Craig Duncan in his shoes, they're gonna give me a juicy payment, and I got money like that because I've been saving all my coins from Rare and all that. I'd be like, I mean, I could either start up another little studio. I mean, maybe he wants to go back into game dev. Maybe he wants to, code. I don't know. It's about him. It's about what he wants. His passions. What's gonna carry him to the end. But anyway, I'm sorry. That was just kind of a sidetrack, and it's important because it's how I think about what's going on. It's like, oh man, I could be like, oh man, it sucks. Microsoft sucks. People getting fired, whatever, retired, blah blah blah. And I'm like, is it voluntary? Maybe. Was it like, oh, we're gonna fire you, or you could take this beautiful retirement plan? And he like, I'll take the plan. Thank you very much. You know, I mean, it's gracious of them to even offer something like that. Because like some companies could be like, yeah, nah, you're gone. Bye. Bye-bye. You messed up. Bye-bye. And that's that. And they have to pay a severance, but whatever. But as far as like everything else, like these studio closures, oh, Double Fine and Ninja Theory, and I'm like, y'all are going off of rumors. I'm gonna say rumors because, you know, these people are saying, oh, a friend, somebody said, but I can't say who it was because they're not supposed to talk. I'm like, okay, yeah. So your uncle, the janitor, said that. Who said it? You know, I'm going off of what is actually happening, not what may happen. And in the language, if you listen to what was written, it was all possibilities. It was all rhetorical. Like, oh, they may be on the cutting block. Oh, they may get sold, or they may spin off this and that. It's a bunch of just words. And everyone and their mama ran with it. I was watching YouTube last night, and C Money had red text. Usually it's, I don't know what color, because I really don't pay attention. It's red text. It said, "Oh, Xbox layoffs. You. This is what you asked for," or something like that. Or I forgot what it was. It was something to that effect. And I'm like, he's so hungry to be right. I guess he has to be right. So he's gonna. I'm gonna wait until after June 30th. I believe that's the end of the fiscal year for Xbox, for Microsoft, and Xbox, obviously. And I want to see what happens. Then I will say, oh, okay, well, studio closures, understandable. Out of all these things, except for the people who got like retirement packages, is it sad? No, not really. But for the studio closures and people get laid up, that sucks, obviously. There are different solutions possibly that they're trying to figure out right now, if that's even something that's happening, because we don't know. That's just something that somebody said, and now it's all peripheralated. That's not even a word. Anyway, but Luke Stevens said this, and I was thinking the same thing. So I didn't get it from him; he got it from me, just telepathically. So basically, I was thinking, okay, Double Fine's in San Francisco. San Francisco is notoriously known as being one of the most expensive places to live in America. And the other studio was Ninja Theory, and they're in Europe somewhere. I don't remember where. But just focusing on Double Fine. Double Fine could cut their budget in at least half, I would say, probably more, if they moved their studio. Now, I don't know how many people work at Double Fine. I don't know. Moving sucks. I hate moving, but it's like, yo, you move, keep your job. We move to a cheaper place, cheaper cost of living. You know, this is the solution. We can keep working, and just hopefully the next game is a banger, or we have to find somebody to give us money, or just shut it down, or I don't know what the other or would be. But it's like there are solutions, you know, just like what happened with whatchamacallit, the Hi-Fi Rush people, Tango, and you know, they're saying all these things that I'm like, look, you guys, you hear a rumor, you run with it. I understand that's the console war thing, but I didn't say anything because it wasn't news. It was rumors. It's not solidified. You guys are getting hyped, you're getting angry, you're getting emotional, and you don't know the actual truth. You don't know what the reality is yet. Possibility, we can make up a billion zillion possible scenarios of what's happening. Let's talk about PlayStation right now. Bungie. You want to talk about Bungie real quick? I mean, Marathon is going to get shut down. Let's just say that. I mean, since we're making stuff up, right? Bungie's going to get shut down. They're going to also cut some more staff from there. I believe they have 800. Do they still have like 800 or something? They're going to cut that in half. They're going to cut 400 staff from Bungie. They'll make it smaller, make it manageable. And then you got Fair Games that's just now Robit. What is it called? It's called the Get Money. Well, what did Fair Games turn into? I can't remember the name that they changed it to, but that game is a ghost. That's a Phantom game. That's not coming out. That's a failure. We could do this all day. And the fact that nobody's talking about, look, we all know that the Xbox tax has been in effect for years, right? And I mean, it's being more illustrated by the day by people like Tom Warren, who went out there. And he's like, why did Xbox do this? Why did and I'm reading his little post he put up. And I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? It's just, is it frustrating? I mean, if it kind of is, only because I see what's happening, and I see the bias. The bias is clear as day. It's not like, oh, I'm biased towards Xbox, so anybody that's against Xbox is going to be... No. That's not how it works. It's about just unusual. The unusual. If the scales were balanced, if everything was equal, that's why, like, King said he had no problem with Dreamcast guy, and technically I don't either. I just like make fun of him because he just puts himself out there, whatever. But one thing I say about Dreamcast guy is that he's the equal opportunist doomslayer, basically. He'd be like, oh my gosh, I guess he makes more views on Xbox's dead stuff. But when PlayStation's a mess, he does a PlayStation is dead too. Not as potent, right? But he's doing that too, because I think that's all he knows, to be honest. But if at least he's honest about his grift, that's what he's do. That's what he's doing. That's what he's not being disingenuous. I mean, he kind of is being disingenuous because how he, when he spoke to Paris, and Paris like spilled the beans and everything. But I mean, if you listen to him, if you watch him long, you can figure it out, right? And me, I'm like, look, the things that are happening with Xbox right now. Sorry, I'm tired and sniffles. Are necessary if you want Xbox to exist, right? Now, Phil saved Xbox back in the day. He also was the steward of its almost destruction, I would say. Now, people are getting overboard. They're like, oh my gosh, is Xbox is do or die, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, Xbox has enough capital, enough worth that they'll be all right. It's going to hurt. I mean, ripping that Band-Aid off is going to suck. There's going to be a lot of people, a lot of cuts, a lot of this, a lot of changes. But they have so much that they can cut this, that, and the third and still be all right. And that's the whole purpose, is to trim the fat, like I said last time. And they can maintain, and they can change how they do things. Like Asha says, we need to be faster. What was she talking about? She's talking about these devs taking too long to make games. That's what she's talking about. Efficiency is important in every type of industry, in every job. If you aren't efficient and you are slowing down the process, maybe if there is a pipeline, and look, if they got to cut jobs, they're probably looking at performance, not like, oh, well, of course, we're paying you a lot. Maybe that has something to do with it. But if you're a good worker and you're valuable, they won't let you go. That's just good business, right? But if you're like, you made a pot and we paid you a year, a salary, and you made a garbage can in one of the games, and that's all you did. Shoot, we sending that job to India next time, where they get paid $8,000 a year, as opposed to paying you $100,000 a year to make a garbage can. I'm exaggerating, but I'm just saying that these are the maths that these CEOs and companies deal with. And so what she's probably gonna do, she's gonna be like, okay, we got to build some Indian. I mean, I don't know if she is Indian, Asha Sharma, maybe she is, but I'm just saying the cost of living in India, I would assume, is way less than the United States, because they get paid $8,000 to $10,000 yearly for the same job as these US people, video game devs I'm talking about. And so I'm like, okay, if I was a CEO and we had that ability, we spin up a Microsoft Xbox division in India and hire 10,000 people, and we could pay them, the 10,000 people, as much as we would pay 1,000 people over here, and probably a little bit less than 1,000 people actually. And they do great work over there. It's not like they ain't got skills; they got mad skills. And so, I mean, I know y'all be watching RRR, y'all watching Bollywood. Them joints is crazy special effect anyway. But, when we're talking about these companies, Xbox in particular, because that's what's popping off right now, you have to think, like, put yourself in the shoes of the CEO, Asha, or put yourself in the shoes of Craig Duncan, or put yourself in the shoes of the journalist, right? And think about, like, if I was a journalist, what would I be doing? I'd be like, well, I got to get clicks for my site so I can pay the bills. All right? That's what's popping off, right? And so they go back to the oldie but goodie, Xbox bad. That gets the clicks, so we're going to do that. And I guess it works until it works until it doesn't work. Basically, that's what's going to happen. But, and so that's the journalist side. Okay, sure. And, of course, they have a bias. Whatever. And maybe it has to do with something of Sony owning some sites and stuff, whatever. But then you look at, okay, what Asha got to do? Okay, what these people in the studios got to do? And like I said before, if you're not good at your job, then your employer, depending if you have, a lot of devs don't have unions, so there's that. But it's on you to get good. If you can't get good, then you have to figure it out. It's not, it's like, if I'm having trouble at something, I'm gonna say, okay, hold up, let me step back. What do I need to do? I need to practice, I need to study. What do I need to do to not be sucky at this? And it depends on the importance of what it is. Like for me, like I dabble in Blender, I do all these things, right? But it's a hobby, so I'm not sitting there like, oh my gosh, I gotta figure it out. No, I try to do something, I'm like, oh, I want to do this, and I figured it out, whatever. Go to YouTube University, see some videos, like, oh, okay, I can do it, and I try it, and it works, or it doesn't work, whatever. But like I said, that's the hobby. It's not my job. My job, I do my job. I do my job pretty good. I'm pretty efficient at my job. And if a supervisor steps to me, I got a mouth on me, all right? So I be talking shite. Because I see the inadequacies of the work ethic. I see all these things, and it's surrounding me, and I'm like, look, I should just adopt the attitude of, I'm here to get paid and bounce, and that's it. But I can't, because that's not my character. I see the people, I'm like, yo, I try to help the people, blah, 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 whatever, and they ask us to do stuff, and I'm like, why? And they got no answers, and I'm like, that's not helping. If you explain to us why you are telling us to do certain things and it makes sense, I'm like, cool, all right, boss, let's go. But if you just say stuff because you're the boss and that's what's up, because I said so, I don't respond to because I said so. It has to make sense. If they don't make sense, I'm still getting paid. That's all I'm saying. And I'll cop an attitude. I've done that many a times. I've gotten in trouble, so I'm still here. Why? because I do a good job. I do my job. My attitude has nothing to do with my ability to do my job, and my attitude only applies to the supervisors and managers. I don't do that to other people's, generally speaking. And you know, it's like, yo, we're not here to play around. We're not here to drag our feet. We're not here to milk the clock. We're here to bust it in and bust it out. And the thing about my job is that it's basically a salary job. So I could be done in 5 hours, get paid for 9. So it behooves me to be more efficient. But I would assume in these dev, I don't know how it works on the dev environment. If they get to, you know, work a little extra hard and then get done early and then have a nice day or whatever. No, I don't think so. They just keep working, right? So, and that's what happens if you don't have like a fixed income, like a fixed salary, and you get paid by the hour, you can drag your feet. You can be like, I'm not killing myself to try. Now, most people won't do that. I mean, people who love to work, who are workaholics and stuff, they will bust it out. You know what I mean? Because that's just their personality. But a lot of people aren't like that. So, I mean, that's. I'm sorry for the long tangent, but going back to all of the doom and gloom on Xbox, the stuff that may or may not happen. That's why I haven't really said anything. I can't really say anything about it because we don't have enough information. And information is power. So let's calm down first. Let's watch what happens. We can speculate. We can say, well, I hope this doesn't happen. Or I hope this happens. Or blah, blah, blah. We can always hope. We can always have dreams and such. But when it comes down to reality is if she's making moves like that, there might be cuts. Sure. Job losses? Probably. Xbox spun off to a subsidiary? Sure. All these things have happened before in other places. Most of these things, the job loss, that's happened at Microsoft. It's happened at PlayStation. It's happened at, I think it happened at Nintendo recently. I don't remember. They're very rarely firing people, but you know. Anyway, but it's, you know, we have to wait. We have to wait and see what's popping off. I know everyone's starved for content and they want to make a whole, let's do 2 hours on the hypothetical situation of something that might not happen. And you're trusting Kotaku. You might as well trust Destructoid. That's all I'm saying. Look, I don't trust any of these freaking outlets. They are in competition with themselves. You know, Kotaku versus Bloomberg versus blah blah blah, all this stuff. And I'm like, look, if you look at the media, it really is a competition. And a lot of people are hating Jez in particular because they feel like he's got an upper hand as far as the Xbox news and stuff. And so if you notice, it's a very small amount of people who actually have like Xbox inside news. Everybody else is just throwing stuff at the wall. You're like, can you trust what these people say? Can you even trust Jason Schreier? I mean, he's been right, but is he right all the time? Like, for instance, like the whole PlayStation. Oh, they're moving away from PC, right? Has PlayStation come out to verify this? No. So we're trusting Jason Schreier's words. I still don't think that's true. I think they're gonna do exactly what Xbox is doing: selective titles. Oh, but the third part, the games of service are gonna be like, okay, sure, yeah. We're not talking about that. We're talking about first party games. And I would assume you know what? I'm not gonna assume. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm super tired right now. I need to take some drugs when I get to the crib, not during driving, because that's dangerous. Don't do that. But yeah, I mean, look. Bottom line, look. Stuff is changing. It's cool. That's what happens. That's life, honestly. And so, you know, everybody getting upset about it. getting upset at the fact that I didn't say anything about it, like when everything popped off yesterday. I like to get as much information as possible before I say stuff about things, so I can be more informed. But I understand how the news cycle goes. Everybody, I first did a video about it, and I get all the views. I didn't look. I appreciate the views that you guys are watching me. You don't have to. I appreciate that, but my channel isn't about being the first or shock jock and all that stuff, and getting the first getting the first story out about a certain topic. So that's not really important to me. It's about the discourse, the talking, the actual conversation is the more important thing when it comes to serious things, and even just the fun stuff. The fun, ridiculous stuff, the hype that you get when oh man, this game is I've been waiting for this. Okay, I want to say something real quick. It has nothing to do with what I'm saying. I was playing Forza Horizon 6 last night, and I was like, oh, let me check out the car show. I want to see if I want to buy a car. I went through the cars. I'm looking at I'm like, okay. They got a GMC, like a 1970 GMC Jimmy. It's one of the first 3 cars you get, right? I'm like, all right. And I look at the Chevy. I'm like, you got a Silverado, like a 2024 Silverado. I'm like, nobody want. I mean, I'm like, where is the SS? They got a Typhoon, and they got what's the other one? I don't even remember what the other one is. I think it's a Jimmy, another Jimmy, 80. Was a 92 or so, I can't remember. And I'm like, y'all got this in here, but you don't have the freaking SS Trailblazer. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all know it's got a Corvette engine. I was so mad. I was like, you know what? F it. And I bought a all-wheel drive Corvette. I was like, screw it. And I put a wide body on it, painted it green, and let's go Xbox. But anyway, I'm sorry. But yeah, look, we're going to talk about the whole what's going on with Xbox, because it's going to happen today. Today is where we got like 15 more days or something for the rest of this month. So we're going to dip dive. We're going to speak about it. I'm not just going to like ignore it and stuff, but if nothing is changing, then and if it's just a rumor of this and that, we're not going to waste time on that, but something tangible, something real. Yes, somebody else retires, let's talk about it. All right, but I appreciate, and let me know in the comments below, what do you think is gonna happen? Think Ninja Theory's gone? You think all these other places are gone? Yeah, what's popping off over at Xbox? And do you have hope? Are you pessimistic or optimistic about pessimistic? There it is. About the future of Xbox. I'm not too down. I understand how the world works. So I think Asha's doing what she needs to do to get it done. To be what she wants. She has a goal, so I'm waiting for that goal to come true. But that's kind of cool. But anyway, I appreciate. I'll talk to you on the next one. Tilt the weight.